Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. There's never been a better time to own physical media, especially music CDs. As you can see by these prices, you're paying $1 a piece for even titles from Lady Gaga, old classics like The Police and Genesis, Janet Jackson, 99 cents a pop. So, I mean, it's hard not to want to start collecting these. And since I started collecting again, I moved to these particular means of storage, which of course are a lot thinner, a lot easier to store, right? But I wanted to give you guys a couple of hints. There's a lot of people who are brand new. They're brand new to physical media. They're brand new to CDs. They're brand new to thrift shopping. And so this video is kind of for you. Old hat people may learn something, but probably not. So if you're an old hat, this video might not be for you. But let's take a look at a couple of things. So when you're picking up a disc at the Goodwill, the first thing you need to do is make sure the disc is in there. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but make sure the disc is in there, okay? Make sure that the insert is in here and make sure that the back insert is there. Some people will have bootlegs that they put in here. They put in a bootleg of a disc and you don't pay that much attention. It says your Rhythmics on it. You're good. Looks like a bootleg disc, but they'll take the artwork out. Obviously, the cases are going to be worse for wear. These things are easily replaceable, okay? You can easily pop these things open. You can pop out the back and you can get to this rear insert without a lot of problems. So don't let a case keep you from buying it unless it's damaged the artwork inside of it. I've seen that too. I just don't have any good examples for you. You can see it's all scratched up. It's well used. It's well loved. So you want to make sure you have the artwork. And then, of course, I know this sounds silly, but some people don't bother to look at the back. Look at the back. Now, you can see here, this one does have scratches in it. And you can see some inconsistencies on the surface. I'm trying to do this. I'm hoping this is coming out on film, okay? On video, I should say. But you can see there's some scratches here. None of these are deep scratches. So what a lot of people don't know about CDs is the actual music is held on a layer below this one. So there's a small, thin layer of protective coating. So little tiny scratches are not going to stop the laser from getting inside. Certainly not fingerprints. I can put a big old fingerprint right there. Well, that didn't work out really well. I can put a big fingerprint there and it wipes off. So this disc is absolutely fine. It may look horrifying when you look at the back of it if you don't know what you're looking at. Very light scratches. Not going to have any problems with this disc. And it was 99 cents. All right, I'm trying to find some other examples. Some of the other things you're going to be looking for. Now, sometimes, this isn't one of them, I don't think. Let me find one that is. Yeah, picked a lot of good ones here, it looks like. Okay, here's one. Take a look here. Now, you'll notice on the back of these CDs are barcodes. These basically mean retail copies from the studio. That's what you need to take from that. These are retail copies from the studio. Now, way back when, and you probably heard mom, dad, grandpa, or maybe great grandpa at this point, talk about something called the Columbia Record and Tape Club or the BMG Record and Tape Club. These groups licensed the rights to make essentially commercial bootlegs of the discs. They're not bootlegs, they're legit copies. And listen, it's CD, right? So they probably have the exact same audio as the quote retail CD. But a lot of times what these BMG manufactured discs are missing, sometimes they'll have an insert for the artwork, but what they won't have is the booklet. Now, this one happens to have the booklet. Sometimes it'll have a different booklet that does not have maybe the lyrics in it. So a lot of times they cheapened up. Now, in the early days, it was very simple, easy to tell. I bought Billy Joel's Glass Houses after I got it from Columbia Record and Tape Club, and the entire book's missing. I mean, it was a terrible release for music lovers. If all you care about in the end is this, who cares? But keep an eye out. A lot of times when you're at Goodwill, you'll see 4 or 5 copies of the same thing. You'll be looking at the spine and it looks exactly the same. But when you pull them out and you look at it, one's got a UPC, one does not. Get the one with the UPC, right? And by the way, Goodwill's not going to care if you mix or match. So if the disc is bad in this one, take the disc out and put it in the other one. right? At least, you know what I'm saying? Mix and match until you have a full-blown version of the disc and CD that you're looking for. So keep an eye out for this. Columbia has something, I think, similar to this. If there's a barcode, it's like a retail deal. And if there's something missing, it should be pretty obvious. Now, again, this is broken. This case is broken. It's not, again, not that big of a deal. The other thing you might see missing commonly from these BMGs are things like these rear inserts. This rear insert must have cost a lot more to make because a lot of people didn't do this back in the day. Let me take this out for you. The insert is double printed. Most inserts are only single side printed. So they printed both sides of this, which had to have cost somebody something. And a lot of times the BMG groups did not do this. So the cheaper knockoff ones did not reproduce those if they existed on the original disc. So that's another little tip there for you. This one actually looks pretty good. I look at every single thing. So these are the things you really want to look for when you're buying from a thrift store. I know sometimes you can get in a hurry and you want to hit like 17 Goodwills today. I get it, but be prudent. At least make sure the disc is there and check the backside of the disc. Make sure that it's clean. If you're not into the collecting aspect of it and you don't care about the booklets or the back art or anything like that, then your options are a little more open. The last thing, as I'm sitting here fighting with this disc, these stickers suck that they put on here, by the way. Very difficult to take off. I recommend a hairdryer and tweezers. So this is another thing you got to really be careful of. So this is a compilation. There are a lot of times when you'll see like greatest hits, best of, all that good stuff. In this case, it's a compilation CD. They put this big gold thing here for a reason. 100% original artists and recordings. That seems dumb, right? Why would you even bother putting that on there? Because there are discs out there that look a lot like this one that are not the original artists. They're cover versions, or they're live versions, or they're alternative versions. They're cheaper for the company to make. So they're not the songs you heard on the radio or you heard grandpa listening to on the radio, right? They are covers, remakes, or something of that nature. So they're not going to always put this here. But if you look at the back, a lot of times they'll say, cover artists, or even this, you'll be able to see what that Wild Wild West was done by the Escape Club. Well, maybe it's Wild Wild West, Kid Bop or something. I don't know. But you'll know right off the bat, hey, wait a minute, these aren't the right songs. You'll look at the cover and say, gotta have that. And then you look at the back going, wait a minute. The Reflex was Duran Duran, not, I don't know, whatever weird person might be covering that. So anyway, keep an eye on that. A lot of the old classics like Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, a lot of those, the old crooners, they have a lot of these live versions, or they have not studio recordings, they have different recordings. So I've got like 6 Frank Sinatra discs laying around here. I'm seeing if I had one handy. I don't think I do. All I want is the original studio recordings of his greatest hits. It's almost impossible to find that. You'll find a greatest hits, but it's studio studio remasters or live performances or something, not what you're looking for. So be careful when you're searching. Usually this happens to be around greatest hits or compilations or, like I said, the old crooners, you'll see a lot of that of. There's also something to be said for heft too, right? Sometimes... this is very, very light. There's not a lot in here. It's a very thin insert. This actually does have a printed back, though. I think that's very interesting, and the disc looks good. Some of these CDs, they did not go out of their way to make them look good. Probably because you're never looking at them. They're in the machine, so who cares, right? That one's pretty plain, but I've seen some really, really plain, I don't give a rat's butt type disc art. So anyway, there you go. That's going to hopefully help you out when you go to your next Goodwill. Go shopping for these CDs. Listen, there's no better time, folks. No better time. And I will have a link in the description to these alternative sleeves. They store well. They're easy to flip through because you can flip over and see the name of the disc. It's a nice alternative. Again, if you look at the size difference here, you're talking about almost 3 or 4 of these you could fit in one spot. Storing your CDs. I know you don't have the spine. I get it. But anyway, that's all I got for you. If you like this stuff, you want to see more stuff about physical media, you want me to talk more about physical media, leave a comment in the description below, like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you don't want to see more of this, like the video anyway, and then tell me in the comments, hey, listen, stick to Steam Deck. We don't care about physical media. That's it for me. Shane R. Monroe here. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.